Running the sanctuary absolutely brings me peace. The work is 100% cathartic for me. I find myself getting tied up in it and being busy, and then it's really nice just to sit, breathe in life, and it's beyond zen.
Ste.Marie Airport Development Corporation, owner and operator of the Ste.Marie, Ontario, Canada Airport, is proud to support the Sault Curlers Fall Classic and welcome all to beautiful Sault Ste. Marie. The Sault Ste. Marie Airport. Go there to get anywhere.
Good evening, curling fans across Canada and around the world as we bring to you the inaugural Sault Curlers Association Fall Classic presented by KIOTI Tractor Canada. Live from the YNCU Curling Centre in beautiful Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, Canada. We have a fantastic field of 21 teams, including teams from Alberta, Manitoba, Ontario, Northern Ontario, Newfoundland, Labrador, USA, Korea, Japan, Sweden, and Italy, playing for a total purse of $90,000 and world ranking points as part of the World Curling Tour. We welcome viewers from around the world to our streaming broadcast, and we hope you enjoy every single game we are providing on YouTube via Curling State. It promises to be an exciting event with some of the best teams in the world. Sheet B is our feature matchup tonight, and it includes Team Dunstone versus Team Dunnam, as this is draw number 4. I am Clinton Cudmore, and I'm joined by Dan Lemieux. We will be the announcing for this draw. A reminder, there is a chat space available for all those tuning in, so please feel free to access that space and interact with others that are watching the game today. Other games available, and feel free to serve different sheets and find your favorite team or matchup. So sit back and enjoy, prepare, watch this game, and let's get started. So Dunstone has hammered in the first end, having had a more successful draw of the button. And we're watching Ryan Harnan deliver his second stone here. Looks good out there, Danny. They have like a Pinky's Lounge set up to the left here. The commentators right behind the sheet. We have fans flanking both sides of the ice.
Oh, it's certainly nice to see. Years ago, they used to have the Regal Capitol, and we haven't seen an event like this since. So it's this will be really good for our community if they can keep it going. We want to be doing this on a yearly basis, and it'd be awesome if they can continue that.
Absolutely. Northern Superior is a sponsor on the sideboards, and you can only purchase Northern Superior products. So feel free to go down there and get a drink if you feel inclined. As we see a nice come around to the wings by Ryan Harnan on his second stone. Dunstone setting up well for the deuce early.
There you go. So Dunnam is from Philadelphia, and last night they had trouble getting to Sault Ste. Marie. Their flight was canceled from Toronto, and they ended up renting a car in order to get here. So they drove through the night, came in late. They dropped their rental car off at the Sault airport, and they picked up the rental car they had already set aside. And while they were leaving the parking lot, they ended up blowing a tire.
Oh no!
So their trip.
Well, they're happy to be here now.
Yeah.
As we see a beautiful come around there by second stone Lance Wheeler. Dunstone electing to clean it up early, having Colton Law run the guard back. Perhaps get all three. I think he'd be happy to make a couple go away here. When he gets the back one, great result. As he will lay shot rock Barry. Great shot.
I'm feeling the corners.
Yeah, it looks like he's just
Not a bad shot.
Center line.
We'll give him another center guard. So Scott Dunnam's team's from Philadelphia. And Skip and Lead are brothers. And the Klauser is a cousin.
Oh, I see. Kind of like the old Brad Jacobs saga. It's a family affair.
Yeah.
Of course, Matt Dunstone from Manitoba. Ryan Harnden, proud Northern Ontario import. Ryan Harnden, actually a former teammate of mine. I participated in the 2007 Junior Nationals as third for Ryan Harnden. Grabbing onto his coattails, going for a ride.
Matt's setting up nicely for his deuce. Being with us. Top 8. Or back 8. I mean, top 8.
Top 8. Not touching it, looking a little hot maybe.
Yeah.
But it does rest above the team line in a pretty good spot. Dunham sensing a little bit of danger here. It looks like he's going to try and run the corner into the rings. Can accomplish two things by this. He can peel the corner guard and perhaps even stick his shot rock buried. Would be really good result.
Looks like he.
Oh, and he does make contact. It doesn't stick around, but very good shot to pick the corner and get rid of shot rock.
He was very close to sticking that.
It was. Here we see PJ Newfeld coming around with the out turn. PJ actually participated in 2007 Junior Nationals too. Do believe they beat these.
He was, oh, really? I didn't realize he competed against PJ. Was he Skip back there?
No, PJ played the third for. His last name is Irving. I forget the first name. Yeah. Andrew, thank you. We did manage to finish ahead of the standings, though. PJ, if you're listening back to this.
That's when Ryan Harmon played Skip. Huh?
That's right. PJ kind of glared back at me as I said it. So Dunham asking for a hit and roll here by the looks of it.
This afternoon's game was packed as well, so they're doing fairly well in the first 3 draws.
This is the third from Cody Klauser. He'll nose it. Dunstone asking PJ to just roll back a little bit to make the roll back towards the center line a little more difficult. Got to be a little careful on these. Want to make sure you stick your shooter. Probably would take a no hit.
Pretty. Running.
Hold on, working it a little bit. Looks perfect. Should just hang on in the corner, and a great shot from PJ Newfeld. I guess maybe we would have been happy with the nose. I would have.
It's pretty level there. If he would have, the nose would have gave it a chance of a double.
Probably would have made the double. Yeah. So Scott Dunnam going to try the long roll back to the top of the forefoot. If he makes it good, he can get this very top of the forefoot. Put a little bit of pressure on Dunstone.
I'm not sure what kind of weight he's throwing here.
Looks like he's throwing a control kind of weight. He's running pretty straight. He's got a nice positive rotation. Shouldn't do anything crazy. And it does look to just be running the line.
It's making a move.
Got a pretty good shot coming in here.
A little more curl.
Yeah, a little more curl or a little more weight. Didn't notice whether he liked to roll underneath or roll back wide. Rolling underneath would be, appear to be a good shot, but it might group them for the run back detention triples. I didn't really see what the call was. See what he likes to do here.
I'm thinking he wants to roll to
Roll wide.
Yeah.
Probably the safe shot to roll wide. Looks like Matt's coming down with a 9.5, 10-second hit here. It does look to be at least on the nose. A hair flop to the inside. Are they close enough where you can touch the backside of the other one and make the double?
You'd have to throw a big
close. You gotta throw some weight, but I think it's doable. And that goes straight back to the top of the forefoot if you make it good. So he's got to throw some weight, and I think he can do it.
Yeah, you'd have to throw lightweight. You'd have to throw Clint Cudmore weight.
Well, I think most of these guys can throw like have more weight. But it doesn't look like he's doing it with that ice. I think he's just softening it a little bit and trying to roll inward.
Yeah, even half tucked behind that center guard would be a good shot.
Yep.
Force him to do something.
Yeah, if you do roll right behind me, you probably got the soft out turn around the guard and tap you back anyway. So roll behind any cover, you make it think about it a little bit. This is curling.
He'll get her. Just ticked it, and then not
kill it and roll his shooter out in a free draw for 3 for Dunstone in the first inning to really take a stranglehold of this game early. Just not a lot of weight in the first end damage.
That's right.
Dan's got to watch on it here.
I'll get a time hog to hog.
Let's see how close Dan and I are on our hog to hog times. Maybe we can split the difference. Going just outside the edge of the 8-foot on the out turn here. A little more curl on this side.
At 14.
I got a 13.6.
I think they're off.
Well, that's the difference of it. 13, and that's probably a T-line back 4 on its own with a little dust.
So he scored 3.
3 points.
In my experience, if you work the land, you got to be a jack of all trades. You got to have a little bit of optimism, a little bit of idealism, and a whole lot of get-go.
It's so conversational. I'm like, yeah. Right. You're right. All right, we're back live here, and we're in end number 2. Dunstone with a 3-point lead, elects to throw it top 4, and it looks like Dunnam's coming back with the corner guard. So Skipper's brother coming in with the out turn, trying to come right on that KIOTI logo there.
So 2 weeks ago, the Dunnam team made a change. Andrew Dunnam's throwing lead, is now holding the broom in the house for his brother, Skip, when he's throwing. They figured that they'd improve their sweeping.
Fair enough.
And also that they figured Andrew could read line quite well in the house.
Sometimes the honesty of a brother in the house might be a good thing. How did I throw that? Your brother might tell you the truth. Looking to come just top of the rings here with Ryan Harnon's second shot, and looks pretty good. Right in line with the other one. So Dunnam got a decision to make. He's gonna throw another tight one around it and try and get a couple guards going and generate some offense here. Back with the out turn in a similar path. Does look a little more weighty. Maybe not quite as tight as they wanted. Does rest in a pretty good spot.
I like how the late finish, like right off, like as soon as the weight comes down, and then it just cuts over.
Yeah, Tom Leonard in helping make the ice with our ice maker Josh Vandenberg, who's done a great job for Sioux Curlers this year. But the experience of Tom Leonard can only help, and I'm sure Josh is just soaking that up like a sponge. As Coco comes back on the out turn, sorry, Dave.
No, I was just saying that's another thing for the Sioux. Like if we were hosting this every year, our ice makers are gonna get really good. With all the working with Tom all the time.
Yeah, it's a very skilled trade. Be a good ice maker, and Tom Leonard is amongst some of the most respected ice makers in the country. Dunstone continuing to put the pressure on Dunnam here. In trouble again. With a 3-point deficit, you hate to be throwing 10-foot runbacks, but not too much of an option.
It's part of the game now. When you put up those 2 corners, you have to make a double or a run back somewhere along the line.
It has changed things, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Those become very precise, though, running them that long, and just an inch or two off, and becomes really difficult.
Matt's going to replace the guard.
Dunston, having just thrown this, should be able to place it back in a similar spot here and give Dunham another long one.
It's kind of staying out, eh?
It's hanging a bit, but they're working the curl sweep at the end. It is walking sideways. The line is coming pretty decent, I think. And they do manage to bury 90% of it. But he does see a little peak, so it looks like he's going to play a back waiter on the top and try to roll behind the corner. Might be his only chance. Error here would be to pick that guard a little bit and get it out of the way, but he would like to make this now if he could. On early, does look to be curling. And it's touching that center line early, and this is on the guard.
Yeah.
Underthrown a little bit, perhaps. And Dunstone's just going to keep putting that back. DJ Neufeld with his first. Playing that same turn that seems to be working nice for them. Looks to be a similar line as Colton's. Just a matter of weight.
Working hard to make a curl now.
Looks like he will leave a piece open.
Let's see a little more from the lot.
So this is your best chance for a roll behind a triple stagger now, and there won't be any sort of reasonable run back. So huge shot here if you want to get back into this.
A better throw. I think he's well past that guard.
It's coming in though. It might be a little thicker than he wants to see. Not sure he's getting the carry back over, and he just taps it through the rings. Boy, I wonder if trying to make a 4 or 5 foot roll with a little bit more weight would be prudent.
Yeah, for sure. Or less of that rock.
Underthrow a couple, in my opinion. DJ coming back with the intern here, hoping to lie to. This is hanging a bit. Ends up in a pretty good spot. Dunham's going to try that roll back behind the stagger. And if he rolls perfect with the proper weight, he might be able to make the double or at least push that one off the 4 foot. Get his shooting bearings with the main thing. Whatever happens on the back one is a bonus. Has looked to have thrown a little bit more weight here.
Yeah. It's a little more.
Got the curl sweeper on it.
He didn't manage to hit it, but
Just needed to hit a little more of that. Dunstone's going to roll back underneath here. Or maybe not. I think with the 3-point lead, you just whack that. Roll anywhere in. We'll see if the team agrees here. That's what I would do.
he does have. He could utilize that guard though and put some pressure on him.
Absolutely make an aggressive play. He's a little bit better than me, I would say.
Yeah.
The draw would be a great shot. Would really put the gears to Dunham here. And he is going to draw. And
I
why
kinda
not?
like
You've seen that pass several times, and he's got the confidence to draw, and he's probably going to have to do it later in the game anyway. So get a nice draw in here, and you really put some pressure on Dunham.
This was his draw to the button, same turn, and so I think he feels pretty confident with it.
I like it. Talking into it.
That's
Daniel,
good.
you used to call the game, and I threw the last rock, so this is actually a really good combination back here. And 2 Tuckers, too, watching it. Team 3 Tuckers. It's unbelievable.
See a lot of Tuckers from Manitoba, but not too many from
Yeah. It's a
Ontario.
small lift in Northern Ontario. As Charlie Robert approaches in the background, you Northern Ontario curlers will know Charlie Robert.
When the Fox man knows.
Dunstone electing to change turns here, coming back with the intern. Looks like he's trying to just fight the forefoot and bury a piece and put some pressure on Dunham here in the second end.
Why do you think they changed the turn? Probably they didn't want. Probably didn't think it would curl enough, eh? And it would still give him the freeze option.
Yeah, and I think maybe he can guard a little bit of shot rock if he's anything short here too, and kind of give him an in-betweener instead of an open hit on shot rock. This might get in the way of that a little bit and complicate the shot slightly. Doesn't look like it's on line for what he wanted, though. I don't know if that grabs something, but it's he does roll for a pretty good guard, although it's long.
Maybe
There's
it was,
likely a hole to get through there and just tap shot rock back and foot it too.
yeah. It seemed to come down in a hurry, that
I
rock.
don't know if that grabs something or. But again, they did change turns after seeing the out turn several times, so good question as to why he changed his mind there. I wouldn't play the hit.
Of course you would. You're a Tucker.
That's right. So he is going to try to make this hole here with probably back four and someone and sweep it. Just have to move it a couple of inches.
He's played this shot 2-3 times with his team, so he should know the icing.
Looks like a nice crisp release. They are on it now.
Anticipating the curl. I think he's still good though.
It is curling, but I think he's on the front. And yes, he's going to. Oh, they got it high. I'm just skewed a little bit behind the sheet here. It is a great shot.
Nice shot. Now Dunnam's laying 2.
Yeah, but
Leaving the same shot from that Dunstone. Oh. He's electing to go the out turn now.
looks like this is just a draw to make his use a little more difficult. I don't think he's making a play for shot rock.
Yeah, he's going to force him to either go wider in the out turn to get a piece of the forefoot or go through that port. So,
and it will be difficult with already a 3-point lead. This is Dunstone showing why he's the kind of curler he is, I think, here with some of the strategy decisions he's made. And it's early. Getting another look at draw weight too after his last run might have fooled him a little bit.
it's coming. Looks like it's coming down a bit.
This looks to be draw too.
Add 14.8 on that one.
14-8, and it's fighting about top 8, and it's quite wide. So not real quick today. We're looking to be
No.
around 14 or slightly less. A lot of people on ice level. And we are in a curling club, not in an arena, so you'll notice that kind of gradual curl instead of the hanging and off the curl in the last couple of feet. This is more of a gradual curl here. New rocks a couple of years ago here, and they are in great condition. It's a great set of rocks we have here.
So we do have a game going on beside us, and it's Team Hargan versus Brian Adams Jr. And right now, Team Hargan is up 4-0 after the second end. Just starting the third.
So Dunham looking to play the double bump, I think. Maybe nestle it into that top 8 green and roll it in, or I can't imagine he's throwing much weight at it. I'm not exactly sure what he's doing. Maybe he's coming to that hold in.
I think he's playing the double straight back
Onto the green.
onto the yellow, and then the yellow onto the green. And he just might have done it. If it hangs around, he's got 3.
And it's a great
What
shot.
a shot.
Great shot. Did not
What
see
a
that
shot,
coming,
not-
and kind of out of nowhere, this game is tied up after Dunstone
That was a
really dominates the second end too. The game
Great
is
shot.
tied.
Now that the game is tied after 2. We got a game.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
At Coyote, we know that when the weekend rolls around, you have 2 choices. Kick up your feet or kick up some dirt. If only all decisions could be so easy. Coyote, we dig dirt.
We're for agriculture. For growers, doers, whatever it takers. We're for doing things with purpose. We're for the little guy with big guy dreams. We're for agriculture. We're for you. Nutrien Ag Solutions, leading the field.
An iron horse leads you north. A wooded canyon draws you in. Where am I?
All right, we're back to you live in the third end. Beautiful Ste.Marie. We're at the YNCU Curling Center. Clint Cudmore and Dan Lemieux reporting live. Enjoying the game between Dunnam and Dunstone. The game is now tied at 3-3 after a great shot by Dunnam. See Dunnam going top 4 with a tight guard. Asking Ryan Hart to come behind his perfect corner. On and early. Does
Looks like he's dying. Oh, what a shot.
Ryan continuing to play well.
That's got to pump up their confidence, after making a shot like that, getting them back into the game.
I would think so.
Okay.
But I think Dunstone's a team of professionals. That's
Oh,
not
yeah.
going to bother them too much.
No, just
Second Stone Lance Wheeler coming back here with an in-turn draw. Skipper asked him to come right to the face of the zone. This looks off course, however, and
probably.
I'm not sure if that grabs something too, but it's not much help there for now. Dunstone's going to make a play on shot block. Looks like he's throwing kind of through the rhythm weight, trying to roll off a little bit. As we see Colton Lott again with his intern. Beautiful tuck slide of Colton Lott. Really love that rim position. Nice and low behind his rock.
They're on it early. It seems awfully close to the guard. Can they get it by? Just ticked. Not
Beautiful
not
weight by Colton Lott, kind of saves him as you see. He didn't quite make the shot, but it's a pretty good audible. Dunstone selecting the right weight throw very often, whereas if you don't exactly make the shot, you still get something out of it. And I think that's what we've seen here from Colton Lott. Dunham does have an opportunity here, though, to make this roll back under cover. Second Stone Lance Wheeler. Throw control weight with an outturn. That's what made a pretty good roll.
Yep.
Great shot.
However, Shotstone is still exposed,
second.
and Dunstone feels with the proper weight, he might be able to get a little low and
Get under some cover with a heavy draw kind of weight.
similar weight to Colton just threw. I don't think you have to squeak that guard to get low on Shotstone then.
No, it really finishes hard at the end when with the right weight.
Looks to be a little more weight than his last one, but that might be
Less.
okay. All a matter of line.
Here it comes.
We've got the curl sweep on now. This is usually a good sign. Anything low, we get pretty happy.
As long as we get it.
Yeah, that's kind of got caught in between them.
So he doesn't bury it, and he doesn't kill the back one. Bit of an opportunity here again for Dunham to put some pressure on Dunstone finally.
That was unfortunate. It was just about three inches.
Yeah, a little less weight, I think he gets more curl and probably buries, and a little more weight, he kills the back one. So a little unlucky too. And this looks to be pretty close.
Hit and roll.
Trying
You
to
just
look
don't
past
want
Ryan Harden's head there.
to go too far.
And he rolls to a great spot.
Yeah.
Dunstone
Took that
does have
corner.
the opportunity to put some pressure on again, though, if Newfeld can make a good corner brace here. But that's my first thought when he was thinking he'd go around the stake. Looks like that's what he says. Pretty good position for Dunstone.
That intern moves a little late, so you should be able to wrap this in here.
He's past the guard,
Just a matter of weight now as the boys are working it hard.
coming down hard.
Does look to be a little short, so a couple uncharacteristic misses here for the Dunstone team. really
When
they might be in a little bit of trouble here with a well-placed rock by Dunham.
going back to what you said earlier with all these people in the club, I'm wondering if it's affecting the ice because I watched them in practice and everything seems to be coming down harder.
I think I agree with you, Dan. I think we got some airflow from both sides of the building here, which we're not really used to. Again, we're at a curling club here with pretty low ceilings, or not like we're in an arena. So the extra body heat in there can affect the temperature of the ice a little bit. And I mean, all the players have to navigate, and it's not a huge deal, but it makes it a little bit slower perhaps than it was in practice before the seats filled up. So I think I agree with you, Dan. The ice is getting a little softer, and the players will pick up on that.
Oh yeah, they'll adjust.
Not perfect again, though, so Dunstone still has a chance to get into some trouble again, and I think you'll see BJ be a lot closer on this one. Having played this out turn here several times now.
Time's running, and then it should break when the weight comes up.
There it goes. And once it breaks off the line here, if the weight's close, you should see this rest right on the corner.
It's got a nice tap it enough.
Just in a little bit to try and keep the line, and I think it's a good decision because it looked just like a shot rock, keeping it a little high behind the back one too. Good position from JJ.
Nice shot.
Sometimes players get so fixated on the weight, you just say it's heavy, but keeping the line there and staying high is the main shot rock there. So tapping back, although it looks like there's some separation, much better result than a dead close and then over curling.
We're having quite a bit of discussion here. Looking at that outside green. Do you think you might want to play the double?
It is an option for him if he can. It looks like I'm right behind the sheet here. He's got to come real close to that guard to get low enough, as it is a fairly skinny double. I was wondering if he wouldn't just play the intern draw.
Yeah, it is a skinny one.
You do have a couple top 8 rocks. If you can ever sneak around that rock top 8 and place it on the side of the button. However, Dunstone might be able to come back off his own. So.
That hit and roll on top of it wouldn't be too bad either.
It's got a couple options here, but that great shot by BJ's really made them think about it. It's in a really good spot. Even though you see a whole bunch of yellow in there, that one green has put Dunstone in a good position to still make his deuce unless they can figure something out here. Running that corner guard in there and trying to kill the other green. Albeit you're running another green in, it could be a little dangerous, but you could kill a corner.
Might not, yeah.
Could probably sneak an intern draw in there. Little risky, Dunstone already being shot rock. Or I wonder if you can just whisker it a little bit, Dan, and try and roll sideways with the back 8 kind of weight. Roll towards the button, push shot rock over a bit.
So he's playing a lot of weight.
Looks like he's throwing some weight and trying to pick it.
If he hits the guard, it's not terrible.
Yeah, but if he gets it by just whiskering, I think he's touching his back when I can't see him picking it across the face from here, but we'll see. Got about 8-9 inches of separation on those rocks from what I can see from here. He could perhaps pick it across the face if it's real thin.
I don't know, he's got it thin.
And he does.
And
just touches the back one, so maybe he doesn't.
Getting rid of that back one wasn't really that bad.
You don't want to be hitting it much thinner than that. That's true, Dan.
He's going to go half tuck around center.
Yep. Or dead buried even. Looks like he's trying to lose it back there by BJ's broom positioning. Try and dead bury it on the top 4 tee line area. See if we can manufacture the skipper's deuce. Dunstone coming back down this same path. They've tried several times now. Should have a real idea of where this is going to stop. This is hanging a lot wider than the rest of the team so far, though, but there it is starting to take a move now. And all of a sudden, it is going sideways. That took a funny pat then.
Yeah.
But it's in a pretty good spot, and it is shot rock buried. So I think they'll be pretty happy with that.
Came out the other side. And
yeah, but with that other one there,
yeah, they were looking at the double. They're worried about it jamming.
Looks pretty precarious to go after that, so I think they'll play a draw of some kind. Also, lots of jam possibilities with those other 2 yellows at the back of the rings. I can't see him playing anything on those greens. I suppose he could nose or slightly inside the top one and roll in. What do you think?
I'm thinking even if, I think they want to run. I think he wants to play the double on that side, and then he's thinking it's going to go through the hole. And even if it doesn't jam perfect, he's still going to be shot maybe 1 and 2 on the top.
Looks like he is playing a hit. It's the great thing about curling. There's more than one way to skin a cat. So whatever you want to see and make is the right choice here, as Dunnam is electing to play a hit here. Looks like the double. This could be trouble, but if he makes it perfect, it looks like he might be able to squeeze it over the top ones and stick around.
It's hanging out on him quite a bit.
That's not going to help him.
But he's still shot behind the cover, so it might be a good force if he doesn't run something into it.
You never know with Dunstone.
At all.
It does look like he can see a little piece of shot stone and might be trying to think a heavy draw kind of weight again. He just has to move it out of the 8-foot and stick around, and he might be able to use his own as a bit of a catcher. But that is a hard shot. I've got to tell you, from here it looks very difficult. Perhaps a double run a little easier, and it looks like this is makeable. The yellow onto green onto yellow. Stick it for 2 then.
Yep. He'd have to get a little roll.
It should come from that angle, though.
Yeah.
This looking pretty makeable here now that we see it. It's a yellow on green on yellow. Stick around in the 8-foot for 2. Got the broom on the edge of the rock here. Not whipping it, he's just coming down with like a normal weight, solid normal, and it is really close. Late movement does hit the back one, and it's a steal for Dunnam in N3. We'll be right back with you. Exciting knocks by the Dunnam team, I bet.
lost part of our forest to fire several years ago. We decided to stay and help it recover. People who have heavy machinery have the opportunity to reach out and help their neighbors for the common good.
When your people are ready, your business is ready. Cintas makes sure they have what they need to perform their best, whether it's freshly laundered work apparel for almost any job on
Well, we're back playing the fourth end. Clint had to take a break. Dunham played its tradition. He played one in the top 4 foot, putting up the center guard. It's going to be Matt Dunstone playing in this corner. It's going to be a very aggressive end moving into the even ends. So we got a good game here.
On the sweep early, looking for it to come tight. Looks to be pretty good. And having this rock not touch the center line is, sometimes I think you expose that back rock a little bit more and try and grab the center line so we can't play this kind of a shot, but he is coming around the corner, however, so cancel that.
You want to explain that rule? It's basically fairly new to us.
It is the 5 rock rule now, no tick zone, so which means for all 5 of those rocks, you cannot tick rock off the center line if it's touching the center line, otherwise it is replaced. Changes things an awful lot because the error was always to kind of tick the center line with the hammer and open it up, and now you can't do that anymore. So those come back, so you really have to make sure you get around those guards.
He called this in, Clint?
Looks like he's coming just kind of Christmas tree, as Colleen Jones would say, very little piece top of the rings.
It's hanging out.
This is running wide for sure. Looks to be maybe a little hot. Having the curl sweeper dip in at the last minute to try and get some late movement, but just overthrown a touch. In not a bad spot though. Dunstone does have a chance to stay locked on the nose and push the second shot, or the shot stone rather, just through the rings and try and remain locked as a frozen on the top one. Looking for a just through the rings kind of weight, as Colton has thrown a few times this game. Coming back with the out turn. Beautiful watching that tuck slide coming back towards you. Real nice throw. This is moving. But looks to be pretty close for the nose, and he's got a good shot coming in here. Gonna stay frozen on the nose and just tap shot rock through the rings. As a great shot by Colton Mott.
Nice shot, exactly what he called.
Looks simple enough, but a very good position on that rock. Got Dunham thinking a little bit now. A frozen and a buried rock with the hammer. And it looks like he's gonna run the guard or peel it. That's Wheeler. Fair amount of weight on this one. He will dead jam it. Doesn't change things much. Very close, but not a very good result for Team Dunham, as Dunstone will continue to apply pressure here. Looking like he's playing a really aggressive shot. Not too worried about moving shot stone just yet, just trying to keep another one up frozen. Looking for a big end here. Golden Lock with that same repeatable delivery you see every time.
They're going for curl.
Did look to come over the top on this one a little bit maybe, but the boys are holding it. And it's pretty close. Another good looking shot here by Colton Laud. Cues it up really nicely, and that's not going anywhere for a while.
Nice shot.
Very nice and a very confident call by Matt Dunstone to not too worried about moving shot stone just yet. And Dunham in some trouble, facing frozen rocks and a buried rock with the Dunstone hammer. Going to have to make an aggressive move pretty soon here, I think, or almost a little late to bail.
I don't know if I like. He wanted to go in there, eh?
Yeah, it's where you can't get buried. It's real tough. He might try to run that guard one more time, maybe get lucky and spin it behind cover, but needing a little bit of help here. Even if he peels it into the top two greens, perhaps sticks it buried that way, Dan, that could work. Does look like he's trying to hit it high side and hitting it into that green mess on the top of the 4-foot. Definitely will kill his own, but I think he'd be pretty happy about that right now with Dunstone's positioning, and he doesn't kill his own, picks the top one. Which is not bad with Dunstone, put it right back where it was. And it does remove the corner, as you mentioned, Danny, so all in all, pretty good shot. Still some heat on Dunham here, though. Looking like Dunstone's gonna set up for at least a deuce here. BJ gonna throw a quiet tap at this. Looks to be a hacker board weight, and it is curling. Ryan Harnon's on it. Just by the guard. And it works out pretty well, I would say. Nice shot by BJ.
They're gonna run that center guard right in.
I think that's all you can do at this point. You run it straight back, make the double, you might be able to keep your shooter blocked buried. Big shot here. If you ever don't make any green go away, it's pretty scary. Not a great result. He does kill one of them, but he leaves it just off center guard, and he leaves Dunstone laying two, and he's going to separate things as much as he can. Not a reasonable double on those two, Dan, so if he can get these even, it's setting up pretty good for a 3-ender, albeit there is a guard to roll behind and complicate things a little bit for Dunstone, but looking good here for Dunstone. BJ can place this in a good spot.
And if he's lined up, he may have to go for that hit and roll behind and utilize that corner guard.
He's just running the top 8 one though. And this is
Looking
perfect.
pretty good for
They
mine.
spaced them out about as well as they could, and that's a real hard double off that side too. So I think you're right, Dan. It's the natural shot is you either hit and roll off the wide one behind one of the ones to the 4-foot, or it's such a short run though. I almost wonder if you want to run that corner in again. I know that sounds a little crazy, but
He needs room to hide, I think.
I don't think rolling right behind Dunstone's top 8 rock does you any good, because it'll be a 1-foot run back for Dunstone. Even if you roll behind the yellow one, it's still a reasonably easy run back for Dunstone to get out of trouble. You gotta hide one somehow though. I'm thinking the control weight hit and roll behind the yellow might be the best one off the center line, Stone Dan.
Yeah. I was even thinking the one that DJ Neufeld just put there. Hit off of that one and roll behind these like back 8.
Yeah, well, I think it's dealer's choice really. It's a similar roll off both sides. It does look like he's playing the other one. You do have a little bit of cover to roll behind on this side and hope for a miss, I suppose. And you never know, it's still early enough in the game. Players might still be figuring out the ice a little bit, so Dunstone hasn't maybe quite been the perfect Dunstone that we're used to seeing so far, so you might get a miss out of him if you make this roll really well.
Their whole team has played a perfect end so far. Not much room for error here, eh?
There really isn't. Like I said, even if you roll good, I still think you're leaving Dunstone a pretty makeable shot. But
I think they're
that might have been about as good as you could roll. There is a hole, I think, but it didn't roll far enough where Dunstone can just simply tap his own back onto it. So he's got to navigate a little bit of a port now.
just hoping maybe to cause Dunstone, or to give him a double.
Right.
Force Dunstone give him a double.
Dunstone thinking if maybe he's a little high, he can chip his own back a little bit too to get some separation that way. So he's got options playing this turn, just trying to kill this Yellowstone. Roll behind the corner would be okay. Like I said, hit it a little high and kick your own off a little bit to the left might be okay too. Make it go away is the main objective. Dunstone broom just off the center line and coming back down with an out turn.
That's right.
Looking to be that forward to control kind of weight.
Right in the line.
Riding a little bit, but it looks to be pretty good. And he does chip his own back off a little bit. Leaves it in a reasonably tough spot to make the double. So I think he'll be relatively happy with that. I think that double kicks off a little high to make all 3 go, Dan.
You think all 3 can go?
No, I don't. I think it kicks just over top of it from that angle. Looking like he initially gestured at that, but sometimes players will do that just to kind of tell the other guy that maybe I can make that if I want to.
Sure, we'll see some big weight here.
Does have some stank on it, but it's not going to hit top
Hanging.
rock, and he's going to just kind of punch the top one sideways and remain there and leave Dunstone a easy nose hit for his 3 points.
You didn't need much more of a game of inches. Huh?
I don't think he's ever making that triple, but to get the double would have been nice.
Yeah. Well, the double would have been huge.
Only another inch of curl would have did it, half an inch of curl. Dunstone got the broom just on the edge of the rock here. It looks like he's going to throw that same kind of 9.5, 10-second hit he's been throwing. Maybe a hair more weight than you might see them throwing on an arena surface.
Nice shot.
And they can just clean it in and collect their 3 points.
Oh,
As
well played, eh?
Dunstone takes another 2-point lead in a very well played end by Team Dunstone. (6-4) Dunstone. Three.
In my experience, if you work the land, you got to be a jack of all trades. You got to have a little bit of optimism, a little bit of idealism, and a whole lot of get-go.
Fall Classic. Dunstone, having taken 3 points last end, is now up 6-4 over Team Dunnam of the United States. Ryan Harnan continuing to play very well, placing another good guard as Dunnam will ask his brother to come around it.
Ryan Hartman put a lot of work into making this spiel happen. He must be happy when he sees all the people, like the sellout crowds today.
And the whole Jacobs Harnan saga has done a lot for Sault Ste. Marie and curling in general. So kudos to those guys for helping bring this event here. And I know Alice put a lot of work in, and Eric's here, and it's a great event. We see Ryan Harnan come back down with his out turn, looking to lock this on. Sweepers think it's pretty good.
Locked it on.
Ryan putting on a clinic here today.
Very rarely does he not put on a clinic.
So Dunnam's going to ask his brother to come right on top again. Should have a real good idea how this pass is working now, so This will be close. See, just a slightly wider line than Ryan Harnden's, but does rest a little shorter than they may have wanted. Dunstone looking to come around the pile. Colton Lott asked to put this on the top button behind everything. I'm just so thrilled to watch a team full of Tuckers.
Then you have Ryan, who's flat foot.
Yeah.
Oh,
And they
nice
get it
shot.
by for a perfect shot by Colton Lott. Oh, another couple inches, that was golden, but it's a great position for Colton Lott. It is pretty well lost in there.
Really
And
nice shot.
Dunnam looking for some life support here. That's why I wasn't sure about the freeze on Dunnam's, especially coming short. Kind of baited Dunstone into making an aggressive play, and they make no mistake.
A good position to steal for Dunstone.
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah, you kind of got that double center now. I think that last rock for Dunnam kind of hurt him because it is blocking that 4-foot path for his last rock draw.
he's gonna opt to clear the front, so he needs to score.
So looking to clear up the front here. Needs an opportunity to see that 4-foot if he's going to score. And I would think he's trying to run that straight back onto his own and send it back into the pile. So let's see what happens here as Lance Wheeler delivers his stone. Throwing an out turn with 0 ice. And it is close. Definitely touching something in the back, but leaving the shooter for not the best result you could hope for, but not the worst either. Dunstone's going to continue to be aggressive and lay another one right on top. Saying short's the miss. If you happen to be a little shy of it, that works too. But right to it if the line's good. Dunstone, I think, is taking a little bit more ice now as you see the ice starting to soften a little bit. You notice him working a little bit farther into the 12-foot. And
Yeah.
I think they're figuring things out here very well by the looks of it these last couple ends.
Yeah, it didn't take him long when we were talking about the ice softening up. They just changed it in a hurry.
Did. And we noticed that as players out here on this ice too. We have a great surface, but when all the bodies get in there, you get to the 3rd or 4th end and you get all that yelling and gets a little bit warmer in there with everyone starting to sweep. The ice conditions do change, so it's something you have to pay attention to. And I think to be a good curler, the ice doesn't stay the same all the time, and you have to chart those paths and realize the changes as they come. I always laugh, Dan, when people say, hey, it's 14 seconds, and I say, well, yeah, right there it is, but you move over a foot, it might be a second different than that.
Right. So he's calling a back line shot here, wanting to hit the green, the first green on the 8-foot. Move things around.
Lance Wheeler here throwing the intern this time. This is moving, and it looks to be all over that top guard. Really not that close on that one. Trouble for Wheeler. And Team Dunham, as I think Dunstone's just going to place this guard back. Higher the better, Dan.
Yeah, I think so. Or halfway would be nice.
Halfway at the most, I think.
Yeah. You want to keep it as, just in case you have to do a run.
Line's coming in here nice again. Sweepers look to be just kind of heavily cleaning it. Nice shot again by BJ Neufeld, who's come on the last couple ends here.
Very nice.
Figuring out things a little bit early, but looks like BJ's back to his old form.
The only danger now, he's running his opposition's rock into the pile.
Right.
But
yeah, you hate to be sending a green back. You could get a double jam situation and leave them both buried. But he doesn't have much choice here. He's going to have to try to make some noise, but I think you're quite right, Dan. This could be real bad. Just a shade off the perfect shot, you could be leaving green 2 or 3 buried.
He's throwing the out turn. Yeah.
Again, with 0 ice, but I think he's coming a little full of it here because that is already back off where he had the broom. So just a little wide there for
and leaving the center guard is now going to be even worse.
It's about the worst result you could ask for a not a very poorly thrown rock, but just that little bit off has cost him, and Dunstone going to continue to put the heat on here, looking real good to steal.
He must be going high because it seems like he's tightening up the ice a little bit.
I think he's just trying to overcurl that top yellow a little bit and get in the way of that hole a bit. Maybe just come across center a little bit, but we'll see here in a second. Definitely guardish weight coming out of the hand, looking to just maybe put the rock over center line and plug that hole. Yeah, and that's where Dunstone has his broom, so 1 rock over center line, and there won't be anything on the intern side either, so
here it comes.
It's to be pretty good, and again, as long as you get over center line a bit, that will do the trick. So another great shot by BJ Neufeld, as there is no hole on the intern side anymore.
He's only, he may try to open it up one more time, and he does have the corner guards that he could eventually run into that green for his 2 if he had to, but it's high risk shot.
Very high risk. You're going to have to manufacture something though here. You're down by a couple points, and you really do need to score this end.
Yeah, you'll have to continue to open up that center for a while.
Even if you can just find a way to get your 1 this end, I think that Dunham would be very happy at this point, because it is looking like a very good steal situation. But with all these group center guards, you can make 2 or 3 of these go away here and simplify things a little bit. This looks to be right on the nose. And he does look to be laying shot rock now, which is something. Kind of
a little fortunate.
A little fortunate for sure. Not far off the intended result though, so I mean a good throw, but to get it like that was very fortunate. Got Dunstone thinking a little bit now after really controlling this whole end. Kind of a deja vu of the second end, Dan.
Yeah.
Team Dunham showing they're kind of a scrappy team. They're hanging in here. Dunstone thinking he doesn't have another real reasonable shot, so looking to just find a way to force him to 1 again, and very patient.
Setting up a...
Ryan looking like he's standing in the middle of the sheet wanting to run something. But no, Skipper's gonna just try and cut him down. but we remember the second end. Hopefully this works a little bit better. Does need to make it pretty well if he wants to accomplish what he's after here, to freeze right the shot rock or get in the way of the forefoot a little bit and bury it to prevent the draw for the extra point. Of course, he wouldn't be able to come right to his own because green would be second shot, so he does need a good chunk of the forefoot. Dunstone trying to prevent that now.
He did call it in, but he wasn't disappointed if it stayed up and
Right.
open as a
I think
setup
just
shot.
to get in the way of his in-turn path too in there. Dunstone coming with the in-turn, has the broom just outside the middle of the 12-foot. Line's good.
Holding it.
High with room, and Ryan's working it now to try and get some late finish, and looks real close. I think they'll be happy with that. It does get in the way of the draw, and it makes his deuce a lot more challenging. Very patient call by Matt Dunstone. I think a couple of years ago you would have saw Matt run that guard, but showing some patience here. Why they're one of the best teams in the world.
Kind of like this call. A little more ice and then in behind Matt Dunstone's shot that he just did.
It's tough, but I think it's just there, eh? Squeak by Dunstone's by an inch for
way too
line
much.
back four. Might be able to bury most of it.
He does have more weight than Matt did. Based on that.
This looks like a fair amount of weight. I do think he's heavy a little bit, but it's starting to grind now.
Then it finishes hard.
Just hung out. And it looks like he does get the curl to lay two. So really a very good shot as it's buried behind that long guard. It's just out of the camera view here on the right-hand side, but he does look to be laying two buried. So great shot.
You ever see Matt run that center guard? His center guard?
I think he will. Up by a deuce, I like his chances to make some noise, especially when his green is so close in front of those other two yellows. I think he could get out of some trouble with a well-thrown bullet.
If he does make it at that angle, the double's very
and he's
possible.
doing it, especially from this angle, as you say, Dan, running this green towards the two yellows. Seems natural for the top yellow to carry towards the second one and make this double, and if he does, Dunnam's in some hurt. However, laying pretty well right now, but I wouldn't want to be the skip standing across from Matt Dunstone throwing this shot. Pretty well right where he has the broom, should do it. Looking for zero curl here. Matt can throw some heat.
Very aggressive end by both teams. Boy, you have a lot of rocks in play. There's only two out.
This has been a good game to watch. Seeming like Dunstone having the edge percentage-wise, but Dunnam won't go away. Here comes Matt with a bullet, looking like about a 5.5, 6 second bomb. Does have to curl quite a bit.
Well, he got one.
Not exactly how we intended it, but pretty good. Just another inch. That was real nice.
Getting that one yellow out was huge.
Very nice shot by Matt.
It does cut the scoring area down a little bit too.
It's a fairly challenging deuce. Although he just threw a similar shot, he should be close. The thing is now, do you take a little bit more ice to make sure you get by and you change the path? Which I think he may have done by that broom position. So we'll see about this one.
I never like that because you never know, eh?
I agree. You made it before.
It'll
You
be a
just
little
keep it the
frosty
same.
out there.
Does seem to be the natural tendency, though, is this
This
does
one's
look to
reacting
have gotten
probably
on a different path, and it's curl. I really think he went a little bit wider, and he hit a high spot, and that's
slowed down.
maybe an argument for taking the same ice if he just made it then.
Yeah, I always like that. Huh. If you could take the same shot, give him the same shot twice.
That's what they asked for, right?
In my experience, if you work the land, you got to be a jack of all trades. You got to have a little bit of optimism, a little bit of idealism, and a whole lot of get-go.
Back playing the 6. Sure, both teams here want to score. Very important end. Playing the even ends. Dunham down 1, so threw up the center guard. Matt going right in around. We haven't seen this intern draw too much towards the glass, so gonna get a time from hog to hog.
Andrew Dunham throwing the intern here. I don't know how great of a rock that would be for a hog-to-hog time.
I ended up with 50-8, but
Did seem to surprise Leadstone. I don't know how surprised Skipper was. Dunstone coming around the stagger.
there's an awful the more yards here. I think is will help them. They're both trying to score.
A little
the
close
6th end.
together, and it does look to be just off the center line, so I'm not sure that that's quite good enough this late, but we'll see. I think you can lock this in with Ryan. He's had a great game, and this looks to be pretty perfect again.
Nice shot.
Nice spot.
I think that's a call for now.
That little stagger, I don't think is really helping him because he's going to have to make a move on that somehow. So
Yeah.
get some separation on your own now might be a good decision.
It's going straight back on that green no matter what.
Yep. Are close enough to get some drag, but definitely touching that green no matter what.
Be nice to keep the shooter around and
Yeah, it's throwing
yeah,
some nice
nice
quiet
weight.
weight, so does clip the green.
Which gives him some room later, which is okay.
Does remove the stagger too, so that yellow combination is a little bit more likely to be able to be navigated back to the forefoot with the proper turn. Matt doing the old Christmas tree again for you Colleen Jones fans out there.
I kind of like that call.
I do too. Make him make a play on those centers, which really aren't helping Dunstone. And as long as you got your opponents running guards with a 1-point lead, I think you're fairly happy.
This one looks like it's coming back.
They're really walking in the finish. They seem to be grabbing at the end a little bit more than they're expecting. So I do think the ice is softening up maybe even a little bit more still. Players keep an eye on that. Do have, well, not full bleachers, but a fair amount of people flanking both sides of the sheet now.
He wants to tap this one, the one in the forefoot back, right?
I think he's coming right around it. He is playing the come around. But again, I think that's a little deep.
Matt will sit on it.
Lock it and just try and lay two here. Dunstone does have the hammer, and this looks to be at least a rock behind the button, so I think he's playing the kind of weight to roll off and not keep it right behind the button. Otherwise, Dunnam might have a chance to lock one. And there is quite a mess along the center line to hide behind. So I think Dunstone wants to punch this out and maybe roll a foot wide.
That's what it looks like, but I'm kind of confused on the ice.
I did think I heard him say freeze is fine, but if he covers the pinhole, it's fine. But if there's room, I'm not sure if it's fine. Hard to tell from here. I think he knows what he's
Might
doing.
be the straight draw. 14, he's gonna get it past that.
That's kind of what I thought he'd play, like top four, not right down to it. Now at least he has to deal with it, but it didn't quite curl as much as they had hoped. So there is some room to get to the inside, and if he does make it a little inside, it's going to be tough on Dunstone. I think you might see him run those guards. But this has to be made first.
Just playing a soft weight.
Cody closer, looking to play about just through the
Curled.
ring kind of weight, I think.
Curling quite a bit right off the bat.
Think he might have pinched it a hair, and it looks like it's coming onto the top one. And yes, it will just wreck the top one in the rings. Not the worst result, but advantage Dunstone for sure. Matt's got a couple choices here. His initial thought was to roll off the opponent's stone top 8 and behind a little bit of cover, but what do you like here, Dan? You could play the intern draw.
Yeah, I think those center guards are giving him trouble, and that's why he's kind of looking at playing it now. He's up 1. He wants to score. They're definitely helping the Dunham team.
So with the outturn,
Try
those
and
yellows
steal.
are definitely going back onto the green, and
I
if
think
you
I
get
like
it
playing
thin enough,
something
you
in
might
front.
send it back onto the yellow at back 4. Either way, clean it up, give yourself some room. I think I like that too, Dan.
It's really the only place that Dunham can hide to steal the 6th end. So he'd be- He's thinking it might drag a little bit, or I don't know.
It'll definitely drag. That's the drag theory. When they're close enough, 2 rocks act as 1. So hitting this a little thinner sends that straight back and onto the back one just like that.
That's not terrible. I love that.
That's a great shot. And I think they drew that up pretty well. There's the drag theory right in play for all you viewers at home, noticing that rock didn't really look like it wanted to go there, but hitting it thin enough with the opposite turn makes those 2 rocks that are frozen act as 1 and send it back towards the opposite direction of what you might naturally think. DJ making that perfectly.
He mentioned that drag effect when he was talking to Matt. So he definitely wants to score here, and he's thinking of going back 4 with the out turn, which might not be a bad call. Be interesting to see what Matt does if he does well.
Yeah, if he makes it perfect, he'll have a tough shot. But if he doesn't, I think he could just pick it on either turn. So it has to be real close. Hardly any room for error, Dan. Starting
That was
to
a great
change his
shot
mind
by
a little
BJ.
bit. This might give you a few more options. Try and keep your top one in play and just rub off it behind the guard.
Yeah.
Does prevent that
Still
in off
still a
perhaps
little
later.
early.
I think just get another one in there is the most important thing. So he's playing the kind of weight where he's got a couple options off the top ones.
This seems to be going right out of his hand too.
Yeah, he didn't seem to like the line early. I think he did dip it in a little bit, but the weight's close. He might be able to make something decent out of this.
Even move the angle a bit.
I think that's going to leave Dunstone a pretty homemade double there, so I don't think he'll be very happy with that. Off the wide one, and both of those yellows will go for fun. And big trouble for Dunnam. Again, not far off the shot that he was calling, but that's not going to be good enough.
I think playing that turn, like it was hard not to set up a double.
I agree. Got the room on the inside of the rock here. BJ's going to fire it. Pretty homemade double here. Just hit it in the crotch and should be able to spin this top one over top of the back 2 greens, but he does hit a little thick and jam it. Remains laying 2, however, and it's a real tough double back as the top rock is buried behind that guard. So Good shot from BJ Neufeld. Has to run the guard if he wants to get both of them out of there, and that's flirting with missing them all together. So maybe just making a play at the top 4-1 and trying to stick around for now. Have to be careful with that jam again.
Yeah.
You ever hit a little high and roll your shooter too far? But it does look like it has enough of it to poke it past that back yellow jam and roll in front of the shot stone.
I missed the weight call.
Just through the weight, just through the rings by that ice, I think, Dan.
That's what it looks like.
Tightening the brim here a little bit. Looks to be throwing like a heavy draw. Punch it back for a wall and roll in front of shot stone. Andrew didn't love it early. They got the curl sweeper on it now. It looks to be a touch more weight than intended maybe, and it's not going to help him as he rolls out, and he does leave Dunstone laying 2. So I think Dunstone's going to Christmas tree this again and still be a difficult situation for Dunnam.
He's going to replace it probably in the same spot. It looks like.
For those of you who don't know the Christmas tree term, I'm talking about guarding the inside half of the back rock as well as tucking a piece behind that guard to kind of leave them in a Christmas tree shape, if you can picture that diagonal line all the way back down, meaning there's no inside roll available. So you're always rolling wide and leaving your opponent the opportunity to come back underneath. Again, that broom keeps getting a little bit wider as we go later in the game here too. So the players are adjusting to a little bit of a late curl with some warm air coming in. Speed seems to stay fairly consistent. Maybe just tightening up a hair now.
That intern has been going. I don't know if that
Does look like he's taken an inch or two more ice than he has on his prior shots. So
positive
maybe
release.
Dunstone learning something from his team for the changing ice conditions. And this looks to be all the way out there now. There's no worries on line. This needs to curl.
I got 14-2 on that.
I think he just overthrew it a hair, but it's coming in now to be pretty good. I think he got an edge on edge or a little bit buried. So he did get a good piece buried, so it's not bad. Might still be able to come down and get to the nose with a hack kind of weight. Move them.
Any chance of that jamming, I think, on that yellow? Or what's he doing?
I think it does go towards that, but it depends on the weight. Like I think he's trying to play hack weight, just move the back to
Just
it,
tap
roll a
it
little
back.
bit low, right? But it's touchy. It's definitely going sideways, real close to that back yellow. I think it pretty much jams on the yellow no matter what.
So he's just like playing like a tap back on that center line.
Yeah, I think you're just worried about your shooter now, trying to remain that shot rock and maybe leave a little bit of
leave some
green
options.
shrapnel behind you to leave a potential jam. But you do need to lay shot rock either way, I think, or at least second shot. So it looks like he's trying to come to the face with heavy draw, maybe kick a little low behind the guard and leave a double pocket behind them.
Yeah, I think that's
Similar kind of back 8, back 12 weight by the looks of that brim positioning, and if he makes this well, this is a chance to get out of it. He leave both of those as a pocket right behind his shot stone, buried on the top button would be the perfect result.
Very close to his first shot. Similar room and weight.
Here he comes. It does look to be a bit of a softer release on this one. I can
Big
see this
curl.
curling didn't quite have the same pop on it, and I could tell right out of the hand, this is gone. Just never gave it a chance. You can tell on his first release, he really gave it a spin. On this one, he just kind of let it go, and it curled hard.
Kind of fortunate where that yellow ended up. Took away from
Well,
instead of a forehand.
yeah. I don't know how fortunate you are giving up 3 to a team like Dunstone this late, but it's well noted where it could have been worse. So this is, you've got dealer's choice. Real good opportunity to put a stranglehold in this game, and you might see handshakes after this one.
Just a straight hit on this.
Yeah. Well, he could be drawing. No. Dunstone actually looking like he's playing the double, I think, straight back. And why not? You stick your shooter and nose it for P over 3, or if you make this double, it's actually for 4. And he does miss the back one, but he gets his 3 points, and I think he's pretty happy. No, he was never trying that double. He was just picking for 3. And I think that's going to be real tough for Team Dunham now, as Dunstone takes another 3-ender, and that's his 3rd 3-ender of the game. I thought textbook curling was force and deuce, not force and 3. Dunstone leveling up here.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
At Coyote, we know that when the weekend rolls around, you have 2 choices. Kick up your feet or kick up some dirt. If only all decisions could be so easy. Coyote, we dig dirt.
We're for agriculture. For growers, doers, whatever it takers. We're for doing things with purpose. We're for the little guy with big guy dreams. We're for agriculture. We're for you. Nutrien Ag Solutions, leading the field.
And we're back live with the 7th end. Dunham versus Dunstone. Dunstone cracking another 3-ender, puts them up 9-5. Dan and I just talking. We don't think we've seen Ryan Harnden miss a shot yet, so I think we can put him at 100% so far. And trying this out turn that he's made so many times this game already. Trying to wrap another one to all but end this game.
Ryan's waving him off like
That's
he's
the first
heading.
time Ryan's kind of made a reaction. He thought that one might have been a little bit heavy, so I think I might listen to him. And it is running. So heavy for Ryan Harn is just there on its own. Still perfect. Andrew Dunnam kind of come down and lock it on the corner. Pardon me, he's throwing the corner on the other side.
A lot of teams would have elected to shake hands, but I think being only their second game and coming from so far, sometimes it's good to play the extra ends just to learn as much as you can going forward into the weekend.
Yeah, well said, Dan. Not everyone's as much of a poor sport as me. You can play it out and get some practice in for the next one. Team Dunstone not letting up, placing these rocks really well. And I think that's what separates the good teams from the very good teams is later in the game when that ice conditions start to change is you've seen Team Dunstone get better and maybe Team Dunnam fall off a little bit as the ice conditions start to change. Team Dunstone is thriving on those changes and communicating and talking and really sharp.
Now you probably see him rip some guards, eh?
Yeah, he does lose the angle on that, but I do think the peel is the natural call for Dunstone for sure. I like hitting something absolutely with the scoreboard the way it is, and I'm sure he will in some time. Peeling the one with the yellow behind it seems like the natural call, and that's what he's elected to do here. Going for the long roll, playing it safe to not have his yellow run in towards anything that's his own color in the ring, so very makeable for Colton to play this wide roll here. Effortless power from Colton Lott, and that rock is gone and onto 4 sheets over to the left. Dunnam's trying to think about how he can manufacture something here, and he's got a couple staggered corner guards at the side. He's got a rock he can freeze to, but he's in some trouble with the score the way it is with these Manitoba tuckers coming at you to hit.
Manitoba tuckers.
This might be the best team of tuckers that's ever been assembled, Dan. I've got an allegiance to Ryan Harnan too. He's allowed to be flat-foot. Not that he would care what my opinion was either way. Ryan and I are good friends.
Seems to be like all the Manitoba teams seem to have a tucker.
Yeah, we were talking about that. You don't see the delivery style too many other places in the country. And you've seen Greg McCauley from BC employ the tuck delivery and Randy Furby from Alberta, but mostly Manitoba players have.
Here it's pretty much all flat foot, and I remember Tom.
Dan Lemieux and Clint Cudmore throw tuck.
I remember Tom Golterman running a clinic, and he called me over and he said, "Dan, can you slide for these new curlers?" And I said, "Sure." And I slid for them, and Tom goes,
"Don't do that.
Don't do that." Yeah.
The CCA has adopted the tuck delivery now too, and I think everyone agrees as long as your shoulders are square and your knees in good condition, that doesn't really matter how you slide as long as you can repeat that motion every time. I think a lot of these players will prove to you that the tuck delivery is a very effective way to deliver the stone.
We're having too much fun with those tuck deliveries. They're all laughing at us.
That's good. It's got to be exciting. Everyone's laughing at the vibrance we have here, but you know, sometimes curling commentary can get a little dry, so there's nothing like telling it how it is. We're just enjoying the game here. If you want to ask Clint Tedmore to do commentary, you got to know what comes with the package.
Yeah.
BJ's going to get rid of this yellow stone here and think it's all over but the crying here.
It's starting to move now.
Showing nice patience again, too, to just tap this through the rings. And a lot of players would just hammer that out of there with the score the way it is. But BJ rolling perfectly back towards the center line and just showing why they're the caliber of team that they are. Not real important to stick the shooter on that, but BJ rolls it absolutely perfectly, and that does help. Looking like an intern freeze to shot stone here, Dan, between those two rocks.
He called it on top of that one in biting the, is it biting the foot? Or yeah, the one top four.
Frozen to that one, eh?
Yeah.
So I think he's thinking if he's frozen to that one on the corner, removing it might knock it into the side one and jam. So it's got a couple options here, but
He needs a mistake from Dunstone, and
this needs to be absolutely perfect to not be a automatic pick.
Not
And
a bad
I
attempt.
wouldn't be surprised if you see Dunstone just play something aggressive here, but he could poke it through the hole too with the score the way it is.
Yeah,
And
just
he's
peel
just
it
going
out.
to get rid of it. After BJ Neufeld's control weight roll, I thought he was going to really put the gears, but no need. Just going to pick this out.
He
Matt
takes
saying
that
if you happen to kill your own, not a big deal. Just get rid of it. So you're going to see some smoke on this. Picking it across the top. I think Matt almost motioned to the fact that he'd like to tick his own out, to not leave him the in off. So looking at hitting this very thin, I think, but the straight peel would be okay. And he does hit it thin. A brush or two might have got rid of that back one, but great shot from BJ. Really coming on here late.
He's trying the same shot again. Only foot deeper.
They're all Clints. As you hear the beer bottles clanking. Klauscher coming back down with the intern.
It's staying out there. He may end up in that port, in that hole there.
Get by the top one. Well, that doesn't help. Big, big trouble now. Dunstone knows this, or get a millimeter low, like BJ's indicated there, or really either way. I think you roll it in, you roll a little bit either way. It's real good position for Dunstone, but I think he'd take a nose as well. All but over here if Dunstone can make this go away. Dunstone taking the edge of the rock and throwing it hard, but not whipping it. That solid kind of normally is thrown a couple times this game.
Even if he takes that.
A hair wide into a good position. And a really tough shot to get something in there now. He can make a little bit of noise and make that triple perhaps. But with the score being the way it is, I don't think that even helps you. You almost have to hide something and there's nowhere to go. So go ahead and make this triple or maybe even the quad if you're lucky, but I think Dunstone would be happy either way.
This is the kind of shot you like.
The quad's tough. The triple's easy. The middle one probably doesn't go. So hit the pocket with some steam and you'll see at least 3 of these fly.
He didn't throw a cannon.
We got about no.
Just going.
No.
Rolled out.
No.
Up.
So missed the target by a couple inches for sure and didn't get the result he wanted. So Dunstone just thinking about what the best option here might be, and
Just draw 4, eh? Or
well, I don't think you want to give him the nose for one. I think you'd like to see him draw. So I think you're just going to bite the top 8 foot so he doesn't have the open hit. As those back ones are staggered a little bit, and you're going to make him draw the 4 foot, get in the way a little bit.
now you see Ryan talking. Must see something.
Does look like the call to just put this in the top 8 foot. I don't see much else. Dunstone puts this top 8. It does get in the way of the draw path a little bit, so he's got to force the broom a little bit outward to try and find the 4 foot. I think if you come full 4 foot to leave him the nose hit, that's the easiest shot to let him out of it. So he's actually hitting. Oh wow, look at us go. Also a great shot, the score being the way it is.
And then roll over to the 4, or that's what he was trying.
Where did they find us? Nice shot from Matt.
Wow. Just trying to call the cross house. He's gonna play the hit on his yellow.
Looking like
Roll
he
across.
can jam his own into that top green on the top 12 and roll his shooter back to shot rock and play this unlikely double here. I guess if he can jam it and get any carry at all off the jammed rock, make the double into the pocket, there may be a potential too. But with the score being the way it is, you have to try it no matter what, if there's even a glimmer at it. So I think if you don't see him make this shot, that there will be handshakes. But there's an outside chance that the 2's on the table.
It's very cutting quick.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. So will be Dunstone that picks up the win. And yeah, gloves are off, handshakes happen. Really good battle actually from Team Dunnam to make it interesting, but Team Dunstone showing why they're one of the best teams in the world, and really a pleasure to do this commentary with you here this evening, Dan.
It's always a pleasure with you, Clay.
So make sure everyone tunes in tomorrow for all of the games. The live stream will be continuing tomorrow, and lot of good teams here from all across the country and the world. We have Joe Returnes here. We have Glenn Howard, Mark Keane, and of course the teams we saw here this evening with Reed Crothers, Brad Jacobs.
Don't forget Sioux College.
Sioux College, Charlie Robert. We've got to mention our local entries, Matt Hunt. So lots of depth in this field, and come out to Sioux Curlers and grab a cold Northern Superior and sit on this beautiful Pinty style lounge to the wings here, and you can view curling right on the ice, or you can go upstairs or right behind the glass. And great facility for viewing curling here at Sioux Curlers too. So as you see, Team Dunstone, fist bumps here at the back of the glass. Great game, and was a pleasure. Take care, folks. Clint Cudmore and Danny Lemieux signing off. Have a good night.
Thanks.
Running the sanctuary absolutely brings me peace. The work is 100% cathartic for me. You know, I find myself getting tied up in it and being busy, and then it's really nice just to sit, breathe in life, and it's beyond zen.